You know, you have a lot of these people who are crashing out today. We seeing this all over the place, right? Because really why they're crashing out is because this is extremely pressure on them, what's going on in society. And we know that when they get under pressure, when they feel like their back is against the wall, the only thing they know how to do is to act out their anti-black racism. I want you to hear what this guy says, because he said he's sick and tired of apologizing to you, black people, and to me. I'm like, we don't even know who this guy is. Just tell him to apologize for anything. But let's go on and listen what he has to say, and we're going to respond to it. Since he's talking to black people, we go ahead and respond. So let's check this out.
Say this, and I don't give a who cries in the comments. It's about to get real. I'm done apologizing for being white. I didn't own slaves. I didn't write Jim Crow. I didn't redline. I was born in the 1980s to a middle-class family that had to work for everything. I worked 50-plus hours a week, pay my taxes, and I'm still told I'm the villain. Every day it's check your white privilege, do a land acknowledgement, post the black square, feel guilty for something I had zero to do with. No way. My great-grandparents came off a boat from Germany with nothing. I've got black people in my family tree, and nobody in my bloodline ever owned a slave. You want an apology? Dig up the dead. You want money? Call Congress, or better yet, work for it like everybody else has to. I'm not your emotional punching bag, and I'm sure as hell not your ATM, because my skin is lighter than yours. And let's be real, people who never pick cotton want a check from people who never owned a plantation. That's not justice, that's a shakedown. And these sniveling liberal white apologists crying online for sins they didn't commit, you're not brave, you're an embarrassment. You apologize when you go up, not for history you weren't alive for. I'm sick of being told it's a crime to be a straight white man in this country. I go out of my way to treat people with respect until they give me a reason not to. I'm done bending the knee. I'm done whispering. I'm done disappearing into the background so you feel comfortable. I'm picking my side. I'm not guilty. I'm not sorry. I never was. You can stay mad.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's really listen to what he's actually saying, okay? Because on the surface, you can just hear one thing, but let me tell you what I'm really hearing. Now, first and foremost, let's go ahead and address him. I haven't met no black Americans that walk up to any white American and say, hey, you need to apologize. We've never done that. I have never required a white person to apologize for a thing. Now, when they talk about white privilege and anti-black racism and things like that, yes, you do partake in that system. Yes, you do. See, you ran down the history of America, but the history of America created the system that we're living in now. You understand? And what's worse about people like you, sir, is that you know the history of America and you do nothing to correct it or fix it, but yet you get into the system that was created by slavery, redlining, Jim Crow, segregation, black codes. You have no problem being in the system that created that came from immense suffering of black Americans. Understand? That makes you worse because you're right. You didn't enslave anybody, but you're living on the system that it came from. You're right. You didn't put nobody in Jim Crow, but you're living on a system that it came from, and you benefit from that said system. So they talk about white privilege. Yes, because you benefit from that system based on your skin tone. Now, you talk about your people fled Germany, you fled their homeland, they had to come over here. Don't matter. Your Germans and all you Europeans had something to do with the transatlantic slave trade. Understand? Slavery was rampant all over Europe. So you know you're not absolved. Your lineage is not absolved of the sin of slavery. Sorry, you're not absolved. You always say, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't own nobody. And then here's the thing. You say you got some so-called black family members. Well, if I was in your family, I wouldn't want to talk to you no more based off what you just said. You ran down every talking point white supremacists run down. And you say you chose a side, right? Okay. Well, how do your black family members feel about that side you chose? Because it sounds like to me, anybody who say that you don't feel guilty and why should you should apologize and all this stuff about, well, we should feel sorry for being white. No, I haven't heard nobody tell you to apologize. That's the thing. But I'm going to tell y'all what this is spiritually. The reason why they feel guilt spiritually when Jesus ascended into heaven, and after Jesus ascended into heaven, what did it say happened? The Holy Spirit came into the earth. What's the ministry of the Holy Spirit? One of the ministries of the Holy Spirit is to convict sin, okay, in the hearts of men. And when you have sin upon you, you feel the weight of sin. You feel guilt, shame, condemnation. And nobody around you has to tell you anything. These people live in areas that we're not even at. They don't have to interact with us a lot of times unless they go to work. We're not in their homes. We're not in their areas where they live and hanging out or whatever. No, the guilt you, sir, and many people like you that feel this guilt comes from the sin and stain of sin and the blood of my ancestors that is upon your lineage that was taken from our people. And the innocent blood that cries out from the ground to God himself for vengeance. That's what you're feeling. You're feeling the weight of sin. And yes, you are guilty. Yes. The reason why you're guilty is because you know exactly what your ancestors did and everybody else's ancestors did. And since you had nothing to do with it, you should be on the supporting reparations and making things right since you had nothing to do with it, right? How is it that you know everything that happened to black folks, but you still want to stay in, well, black folks don't need no reparations. Black folks don't need to be made whole or whatever. Go work, go ask Congress, go do the, you know what I'm saying? No. Our tax dollars have paid billions and billions of dollars to Native American groups, foreign aid, all kind of other things. So you mean, but the tax dollars can't go to reparations? The fact is, your expression just meant that, sound like to me you've been on some anti-black websites. You've been conversating with them, and you feel like that's the team you want to choose, and that's cool. I have no problem with that. Listen, I respect this guy. I respect him because at least he's honest how he feels. I can always respect a person like this gentleman. Okay? But sorry, we're going to keep fighting for reparations. We're going to keep fighting for anti-black hate crime bill. We're going to continue to call out anti-blackness and white supremacy. We're going to continue to do this whether you like it or not. So if you really don't want to hear it, stay off the internet. Don't be around. Don't watch TV. It's a lot of things you could do. You won't hear a thing. But in this country, we're going to fight for what's ours. Land that was stolen from us. Money for reparations that belong to us. Oh, yes, we're going to fight. And you're going to hear it every day. And it's going to get worse upon worse upon worse, the loud voice of black people, until you pay what you owe. Be honest with you, y'all choose to hear all that mess. If you just go ahead and pay reparations in the form of cash payments, you won't be hearing us say much no more. What could we say? There's nothing much we could say at that point. We got our reparations. We get the laws changed where everything's equal. We get rid of racial wealth gap. What can we say after that? Think about it. It's just money. Y'all spent trillions of dollars during the pandemic. It's just money. Go ahead on, do reparations. Black folks can do what we got to do with it. At that point, none of us can talk about you no more. To me, that's the easier thing to do. You're fighting to keep hearing the conversation going, literally. Man, listen, when people annoy me, if I got to say, listen, if I just give them $100 and that'll solve the issue, man, here the $100. I'd rather have more peace of mind than keep hearing somebody, yeah. I don't want to hear that. Like, look, man, pay them their reparations so I ain't got to hear that mess no more. Listen, Black America wants to move on and move forward. I promise you we want to move away from all this. But we can't move away from this until things are made right and Black America is made whole. We cannot. And we're not going to move away from it. Y'all are going to pay reparations. Now, some of you say, we ain't ever paying. Well, they said the same thing about us on the plantation, too, that we'll never get off the plantation. And, well, there are people that say that we'll never get out of Jim Crow segregation either. Well, there's a whole lot of things they said that we would never do, never see, or whatever case may be. You don't have the power to make never happen. That's why I don't use the term never. Don't use that term. Because I know I don't have the power to make never happen. And when you use the term, you ain't never paying you reparations. Oh no, that means you're going to pay it now. You shouldn't have said that word. You have literally cursed yourself till you're going to pay it. I don't know how it's going to happen, but something's going to happen where you're going to pay reparations because you feel like this is something you got to do for yourself. Not for us. It's not going to be for us. It's going to be for you. It don't matter to me. Whatever you feel, but as long as you pay. But nobody care about how you feel, sir, about yourself. We don't care. We don't walk around with the weight of guilt on us. We don't walk around having to hear somebody tell Black Americans we enslaved them. We ain't got to deal with that. We ain't got to deal with hearing that, showing pictures all over the internet of Black Americans, doing mass terror to any other group of people. We don't have those pictures. No people can come up to us and say, you stole our land. You bombed our churches. You did. Nobody can tell that to Black Americans. We are clean. But y'all, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure. Now, you mentioned the straight white male thing. I don't know what that's about. That's between something in your community with that. I don't know, because we don't care what you do in your bedroom. We can care less. It's not our business. Trust me, it's not our business. All we care about is getting this country straight and making sure we get our reparations in the form of cash payments. We need to get an anti-Black hate crime bill. We need to get these laws equal and fair, auditing the banks for how their treatment of Black people, because that's very, very important. Okay? It's a lot of things we got to do in this country. Close the racial wealth gap. And the only reason you got the racial wealth gap, not because you're just better at business and you're smarter or worked harder. Listen, I can respect that. If somebody is outworking me, I can respect that. But the reason why none of us can respect you, because you built yours off of slavery. That's why nobody can respect you. I can't. That's just really what it is. So you'll never escape the guilt. Never. Until you make it right. There is a curse upon your lineage. And you could possibly remove that curse, but you choose not to. So the weight of sin and unrighteousness is upon you. I don't feel that, because I don't have to worry about nobody in my lineage that has done nothing to nobody. It's beautiful when your lineage is clean and don't have that stain like that. It's a beautiful thing. So, but you can join us on that. Just fix it. That's it. Just fix it with your brethren. But all this, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Oh, you had a lot to do with it, because you are benefiting from this system. That's definitely unequal. And you know it's unequal, and you don't care. But more and more you see it, your system is collapsing. It's collapsing all around you. And the current president in his office, he's the one that's destroying your system. It's not even us. That's the beauty of it. He's destroying your system. And by the time that man's done, y'all not gonna be able to get it back.